Good morning, everyone. My name is Shoshana Gross. I am the Director of Events and Programming with the Ohio Restaurant Association, and today I am joined by our illustrious CEO, Mr. John Barker. Thank you for joining us today, John.
Hey, Shoshana, good to be here.
So I know that we have a lot to get to, so we'll just jump right in. The first thing that we wanted to talk a little bit about today was the state grants that are still available for operators. I think this is, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, one of the most important thing we do for our members, right, is to make sure they know things that are critical to them to help them succeed. And we have a lot of ways that we do that. And you've heard other daily doses where, we get into that with our membership team and others, which is great. But this state grant that is available to operators that posted significant losses in 2020 is still available. And a lot of our members did apply, but apparently many did not. And we're not exactly sure why, but the state asked us to remind our members that they can apply for anywhere between $10,000 and $30,000. It's a $100 million program, right? Yeah, that shows significant losses, and there are some other things you have to do in terms of size, to be able to be eligible for this. But I really encourage people, go on to our memos. It's in almost every memo that we've sent out in the last 2 months, and you can click right on it, get all the information. In fact, the one we just sent out this week has all the links to the application, all the FAQs, everything you need to apply.
Fantastic, and we'll add those links into the comments of this video as well. Definitely don't want to leave money on the table for operators right now. It's certainly it's a great resource, and we should make sure it's getting utilized. In light of the fact that we are seeing COVID cases rising in Ohio, and we've been seeing a lot of different states, different municipalities handling this differently, we wanted to kind of clarify what we think will be happening here in Ohio. So what do you have for us on that?
Yeah, you're right, Shoshana. Many, it's really cities at this point. A few states are stepping out, but it's really cities that have put mask mandates in place. Some are going to require vaccines, all kind of different rules on this. It's a little bit of a mess right now. New York City, a lot of information went out. Operators didn't completely understand it, what's going to be required in New York City. But here in Ohio, there are no mandates right now requiring vaccination to get in a business from the state, nor is there any requirement to wear a mask. I think what's happened is the state legislature put together a bill, and that got passed, that really kind of limited the ability of our governor and lieutenant governor to take those kinds of actions. And so Ohio's unlikely to see anything like that. I think we're clear on that. What we know, though, is that certain operators do want to make decisions, and some are saying, hey, we're going to let our staff wear a mask. We're going to leave it up to the guests whether or not they want to wear a mask. We're going to, leave it up to the guests whether they're vaccinated. I mean, this is, obviously very controversial right now. Our position on this is that operators are going to do the right thing based on what their staff is asking them and what their guests are asking them. We do have some members who have imposed on their own will requirements for masks unless you're seated. And then we've had some operators around the state, not many, but a few, who've come out and said we are going to require vaccination proof to get into the location. But that's kind of where we are with that. Our position at the ORA is we are strongly encouraging the vaccination. We're up to about 60% of Ohioans reportedly have gotten at least the first dose. And so we're encouraging that. Our own staff, we encouraged it. We even gave paid time off to go get the vaccine and another day of PTO to just kind of thank everybody for getting the vaccine, because we wanted to lead by example, Shoshana.
Absolutely. And so, we just encourage operators to continue paying attention and doing what.
Hey, this is what we do at our office when we're not seated, right? When we go into our central spots or we go out into the lobby or use restrooms, we mask up. This is our policy at the ORA.
Absolutely.
Little ad for the ORA.
Right. We might even still have some masks left from last year if anybody's looking for some sweet ORA swag. So in addition to the state grants that are going out, we are still fighting for the revitalization or the restaurant revitalization fund. So what's the status on that?
Yeah, we're working with the NRA on a couple things, and they're really good at kind of getting ahead of these things and staying focused. I should mention that there is a webinar today on procedures and so forth with, wearing masks, how to interact with guests and your staff, and that is today, but that'll get posted and people can go watch it on demand. And so look for that. That's in our memo as well. But as it relates to the restaurant revitalization fund, only about a third of those who applied got word back that they were approved, and then that got changed. And so it's kind of a little bit of a mess. What we're trying to do is get clarity through Congress to pass an additional replenishment act, or another one that came out of bill was the Entree Act. In both cases, we're trying to get more money allocated to the RRF. And if that is the case, then everybody who applied would have the ability to get some of the money that they're eligible for, if not all of that. So we're pushing like crazy. The National Restaurant Association is spending a lot of time on the Hill. I have talked, and Todd on our team has talked to members every day. We're encouraging letter writing and calls to our members, not just from Ohio, but some of the critical members around the US who are in the middle of this discussion. We really need to get co-sponsors, onto either one of the bills. And so we're talking to both Senator Portman and Senator Brown to co-sponsor that, which would be critical for Ohio. I ask everybody who's a member of the ORA, anybody that's watching this, please use the information that we put in our memo. You can just click on it and an immediate notification goes to your member of Congress. And to also write and call your members, and we can help you with that if you need phone numbers or if you need email addresses.
Excellent. And then lastly, today, I know you wanted to update us on some economic issues that you're thinking about.
Yeah, so one of the things we watch real carefully at the ORA here, because we get asked this question by our members and the news media, is how's the industry doing? And we also do have our survey that we do. And what we saw is the numbers were really kind of coming very nicely late spring all the way through the summer. And in many cases, crossing over, operators were doing better than 2019 in terms of their sales. So that was good. In fact, we've seen some record-breaking same-store sales in the last month reported by our quick serve restaurants around the United States and fast casual restaurants. In fact, Sushana, I've been in this business almost 30 years. I've seen same-store sales numbers here reported recently that I have never seen. Wendy's, for example, same-store sales up 16%. I mean, these are just gigantic numbers. So some portions of our industry are actually, as they call it, back in PA where I grew up, blowing the doors off, right? And so that's good to see. That's good for the brands. That's good for business. That's good for their suppliers. That's good for the farmers. It's all up and down, our industry and our food chain. It's really good. Some of our more independent operators are not doing quite as well, right? And so we're working with them to try to advise them on, make sure you're taking a look at your menu. Take a look at your menu prices. Are you making the right kind of changes there? Are you trying to really kind of maximize your sales and profitability? And the reason you need to do that, you need to stay competitive, right? Because hiring is still difficult. Retaining people is still difficult. You got to have enough wherewithal to be able to pay people, kind of the wages that are expected by people today. And that's somewhere around the mid-teens, right, is where we've landed on that. Take care of your staff, right? And so we have a lot of education that we're providing, and we're thinking about providing the rest of the year to try to help, particularly our independent, smaller operators, make good decisions like this. And so stay tuned for more information. We want to try to keep the trends good in this industry.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I think that wraps us up for today. John, thank you so much for talking to me as always, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, thanks.